down in a hole this evening, minus Jonathan, unfortunately. Not feeling too well. But Lloyd and I have some things on paper that we'd like to talk about just in case of a Jono absence. I almost said that wrong. How's it going, Lloyd?
Good. I hope there's not much of an absence.
No, I think he's just a little under the weather. And
with the COVID thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Locally, we're doing pretty good on COVID numbers. But I'm really... we'll be happy to get Jono back on here because he will definitely be talking about the new James Bond film. So look around this channel and stay tuned for Jono's review on the brand new James Bond movie, which is called something about dying. What's it called?
I can't remember.
It's always got something. It's like
something about dying. I think
something about not dying. Too good to die, something like that. Okay, now I gotta Google stuff. Anyway, while I Google the name of this thing, what the hell
he looks snappity pap though. Would he put a suit on a whole bit? I wish we could show a picture of that. Just snap it up.
Oh, right here.
Just put it up in there.
Yeah.
For the podcast,
so he goes to see Jono goes to see James Bond looking like that, so he dresses up.
I know.
He's
love it.
Massive fan of that massive franchise. No Time to Die is the name of the movie, so look forward to seeing Jono's review on that for damn sure. He really liked it, so that'll be a good review. But what are we talking about today, man?
I would like to talk about some Tarantino. We like Tarantino in this house. Do you like Tarantino in that house?
Oh yeah, massive fans. The only guy we actually go to the movies to really see, like we will definitely go to a theater to see a Tarantino movie.
Absolutely.
So I guess we should roll our intro, and then we'll talk about Quentin Tarantino. Have yourself some good mosh pitting.
Subscribe. Hit that like button.
Yes. Is that it?
Absolutely.
Thumbs down.
Whatever.
We like negative responses.
Yes, we like to comment.
All right, man. So Quentin Tarantino, like, I don't even know where you start. I think the first movie I saw back in high school was probably Pulp Fiction, which got me hooked on him, which then I only had to go back and watch Reservoir Dogs, and I still haven't seen True Romance.
Yeah, see, that's my favorite movie, and I can't believe you and Jono have not seen it.
I can't believe it either. It makes no sense because I'm such a massive Tarantino fan. He wrote that movie, did not direct it, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
It is very, very good movie, but whatever.
Yeah, one of these days I'll watch it. Yeah, so weird. I've seen every one of his movies like at least 10 times each.
I just respect the guy, man. You know what I mean? He's got so much integrity. He writes all of his stuff. He started as an actor. Do you know what I mean? He just worked his way up, and he just...
And he worked in like a dirt trap video store.
Yeah, man. Like,
and that's how he became such a cinephile. Like he's a movie just
a movie junkie. He just watched movie after movie. And he got so obsessed with all of it. And he knew that what he could do and what he creates is everything everybody wants. It's, oh God, are we allowed to watch this?
Yeah.
Because he takes it to that level in every one of his movies. He takes it to that level where it's like, oh shit, there's violence.
And it's crazy violence too. Like with Reservoir Dogs, with that torture scene in it. And he was like, that's his first movie. And I saw an interview with him talking about how Harvey Weinstein, they're like, man, you can't have that scene in there. And he's like, sorry, Harvey, but that scene's in the movie. It's staying in the movie. He wasn't going to cut it. Young director, and he got his way. And he said, too, a lot of people walked out when that scene came up. But Steelers Wheel, they used that song, Stuck in the Middle with You. And it's just a classic scene, and he left it. He fought to keep it in there.
It's part of the movie, man. He has a vision, and it's what he wants. And I respect him for it.
And it just adds a level to that movie. And say the fucking word, I'm going to be okay. Like that scene in the car with white and pink. No, white and orange.
What was I going to say? Something about that.
I don't know, man. No. You're, and like, I mean, you got notes. Especially you said with Django, you wanted to lean on that one. So go ahead.
Oh, so Django for Tarantino. Holy frig. Like I just couldn't, something in this movie. It's amazing. It's just trying to explore, I think I saw a video where he said something about him trying to glorify colored or American, Black American Western hero, like to make that type of movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can really see it in this movie. When they make this movie, I just loved it after he gets saved. And, whatever. Not saved. I don't know how to say it.
Spoiler alert. Jesus Christ. Like nobody's seen it.
Well,
you mean after him and Schultz team up?
Well, yeah, when he picks his outfit and he gets set up, you know what I mean? He's ready to go.
You're free? Yeah, I'm a free man. Yeah. And you choose to dress like that? With this velour blue fucking... Yeah. It's awesome. I just love, too, how in a movie like that, obviously racially charged time, and I love how Schultz is just oblivious to racism and slavery because he's not a racist slave guy.
I know, but you can't make a movie about slavery and not have backlash. You just can't.
Yeah.
There's not a chance of that happening in this time. And
such a great movie, and even like funny. Like even the KKK scene, for some reason, is fucking hilarious. Like,
who brought the other bag?
Who could? Yeah. Oh, I fucked up my eye hole.
Yeah. Like, my wife mailed bags. I have not watched the movie at all.
Just don't ask me you're my kin for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm leaving. Like that whole thing with when the KKK is rallying to find them, and like you've never I don't even think you can ever watch another movie and actually laugh during a Ku Klux Klan scene.
Exactly.
Like it would be so hard to put humor in that.
Violence, nailed it. Humor. Yeah, and nobody wanted to make it, so they made it.
Jonah Hill's up there. It's like, okay. What was the whole scene too? Like about he's getting pissed at the guys, like, but I can't see. It doesn't matter if you could see. All that matters is that the horse can see. It's a fucking raid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sitting there howling in the theater because we went to see it on Christmas Day, probably because most of his movies come out in December, and we'll go on Christmas and watch Tarantino stuff. And Hateful Eight, we saw Django and Once Upon a Time. How about this time? No bags, but next time we'll do the bags right, and then we'll go full regalia.
Yeah.
I didn't say no fucking bags.
Yeah.
And that's just like one scene I'm on about because it is such a phenomenal scene how you can actually make the Klan humorous in that way by kind of just showing like how dumb they are. Exactly. They're arguing over this stupid shit. And it's almost like the movie was set back so long ago. They were still trying to figure out what their stupid fucking uniforms would look like.
Yeah. I believe I saw an interview where Tarantino says...
Fuck those guys, by the way, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
We're not fans of the Klan. We're just fans of that scene. Fuck the Klan.
You.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I love everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say that Tarantino, I believe, in an interview said that he was basically making the movie of the second American Holocaust, is what he called it. in America, because the first one was the American Indian, and then the brutality dealt out to the slaves when they came over. And that's what he was documenting, basically. He was trying to showcase that at the start of the movie. Going to be, you know what I mean?
It's such a hard,
it started out hard at the start.
He shows the shackles, and they just look like they hurt.
But that's barely. I believe I saw that in an interview.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's why he was trying to showcase that.
Yeah,
the brutality dealt.
Yeah, even the scene too. Like, and I love how he uses. He's always so good at music, and in that movie, the music's amazing because he's got like this. Like he's got rap in there, which doesn't fit the time, but then he's got like Jim Croce in there, and it's just such a 180-degree flip.
He's very eclectic with his music. He listens to a lot of music on his off time and whatnot when he's thinking, and he listens to music when he writes too. I've read that,
and it makes sense because the music, it doesn't matter what it is, if it fits the time frame of the movie or not. The music in all of his movies is just absolutely perfect. And even in Django, like at the end when I got two guns, like that. Well, I mean, we can work our way through the whole movie. And then before we forget too,
I want to go when he gets when they get outed. That's one thing that I'm stuck on at Leo DiCaprio. You remember that scene when he outs them at the table? He's like, he knows they're lying.
Oh, the tension starts. Yeah, but the tension starts twisting in that scene where you see. Yeah, and that always happens in Tarantino movies too.
When he turns around and he smashes his hand down on the table.
Yeah, and actually cut himself too.
Correct. That's what I mean. He actually cuts himself, and you can see the stress in the other actor's face, but. Because Tarantino does such long, like he's not doing 5-minute takes. It's a long take. And Leo's kick ass. He looks at it and he just plays on. And that
he stayed in character.
Yeah. That whole
You're waiting for him to yell cut.
For real.
Yeah.
And the other actors,
he's picking pieces of the glass out of he's standing there picking chunks out of his hand.
Yeah.
Because it shattered into his hand.
I saw an interview where he said Tarantino took his eye out of the camera, looked over, like with both eyes, to go, whoa, and then put his eye back in the camera, and they just kept going.
Leo wasn't stopping, so he wasn't going to yell
stopping,
cut.
So let's get her down, son.
And that's the thing too. Film stock isn't cheap, and he still shoots on real, actual film stock. So if you yell cut, you got to burn that reel, right? I mean, he's got dough for days. The reason Kodak didn't go out of business was because of Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino still shooting on actual film, because they produce a lot of film because of those two guys. Like, we need you to make film because we will not shoot digitally, much like we are right now. Sorry, Quentin and Christopher.
Oh, well.
Whoops. But that's like you're saying, that scene too. And then he wipes his hand on Washington. What's her first name? I can't remember her name. The last name's Washington. Broomhilde von Schaft. But he wipes the blood on her face, and it says it's Leonardo's bloody hand. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that scene, was it in the script for him to grab her and do that? Probably, because Quentin Tarantino is very specific about not.
I don't know though, because he wasn't supposed to have a bloody hand.
That's what I mean. And then going off script is not a thing that really happens in Tarantino movies.
Put it in our comments. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody else knows, like, throw it in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to this. Like, we like to know, we like to hear, we like to talk. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the neat little things that happen on movies sometimes, where I've heard him say too, like, I pay the actors to read my script. So he doesn't like people going off script. But in that situation, like you said, when he's like, he's looking to see, like, Leo's like, fuck, man, I cut myself. Okay, cut, like, get a medic in there, let's fix him up. But Leo just keeps on going. Okay, let Leo go and let's see what Leo does. And holy shit, save, that's a fucking cut. We're using that. It doesn't matter if it was wrong. We're putting that in there because it was just movie magic, I guess. Is just one of those flukes that just works.
Speaking of Leo, though, do you know that
Hunting down the Brittles, and
he had a son there about a year and a bit ago, 15 months ago. His name is Leo.
He named his kid
Tarantino.
Leo. Yeah. Oh, Tarantino named his kid Leo.
Yeah. And he got backlash because, you're naming it after.
Who cares?
Leo DiCaprio, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you know what? He's named after his wife's grandfather.
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah. Everybody just assumes because Leonardo
Just one of those out of their facts. So you can fill out one of those things there at the, gas bar.
When you're playing Trivial Pursuit, you're going to win that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The use of music and, of course, the violence is always great. But Django is a movie like, I don't know if it's. I love all Quentin Tarantino's. I can't even say his name. I love all Quentin Tarantino's movies, but I believe I've seen Pulp Fiction and Django probably the most. I don't really have. I don't think we can say, what's your favorite Tarantino movie? Because I think we're Tarantino fans for a reason, because we love everything he does. I haven't watched Jackie Brown as much. That's probably my least watched film from him.
Did you not like it, or?
It's good. I mean, Pam Grier, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The movie's good. Robert De Niro's in it, and you absolutely positively want to kill every motherfucker in the room except no substitutes. Like, who doesn't know that line?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've only seen it about half dozen times compared to Pulp Fiction, which I've probably seen 40 times, and Kill Bill, of Django Unchained's so cool. Like the Western style is just such a cool genre that was kind of forgotten. I mean, you can't name a favorite movie, but Django's definitely up the top. But Once Upon a Time was so good, and so was Hateful Eight. Hateful Eight's almost like a murder mystery.
Yeah,
like a whodunit, Agatha Christie, 12 Little Indians, like old school. Those stories, you used to read in school and stuff, like the Agatha Christie stuff, where it's just like this murder mystery thing. And that's like Hateful Eight was shot on 70 mil. They had to bring back old cameras. He actually had to go to Panasonic, and they had to go in the vault and retrofit, like spruce their shit up and bring it out of retirement, because Quentin wanted to shoot on 65 and 70 mil film, which nobody's done since Lawrence of Arabia, which was like shot in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
And all the styles. Have you seen those videos on YouTube where they like compare, like, say, Kill Bill, like shot for shot with like other movies, and how often he tips the hat to all these old things? Being such a cinema buff, he's always nodding to everything.
Yeah.
Angles, zooms, pans, like smoking cigarette, close-ups, and all these things that he does in his movies. And even with Django too, I was going to say, because they had the cameo in there from the original Django, Franco Nero, because there's 3 actual Django movies that were Italian westerns.
Yeah.
And Franco Nero played Django, and he dragged an empty coffin behind him as he wandered the countryside doing what he did. And Quentin Tarantino took that and did what he did, and had Franco in the movie, which was kind of cool. It's like, what's your name, son? Oh, the name's Django. How do you spell that? The DJANGO. The D is silent. Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy. So that's really neat too, how he was able to pull him in there, because he was such a fan of those Franco Nero original Django movies from way, way back. And like, what's that movie? 2.5, 3 hours long. And then when it's over, you just wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
What other notes you got there on Quentin Tarantino?
Well, it's just Reservoir Dogs type shit. Like I saw that the Stuck in the Middle with You dance, that you know what I mean? When the killing scene in the, basically around the end. Stuck in the middle with you.
Steelers wheel.
Yeah, it's all improvised. Like it was
really?
The first take was the good take.
When he starts walking around with the blade and.
Well, yeah, the brutal ear keep severing and all that. And it's all one take and it's all just. It just goes, and it's no scripted. It's not scripted. It's unscripted. It's improvised, the whole thing.
Yeah, a lot of the camera angles in that movie too, I found were really cool. Where like the camera would just sit still in one spot. Yeah, and then like they'd go off and they'd be talking in the bathroom, like in the back over here, and then the camera would be like way down the hallway and not move. Yeah. Or when Orange is lying on the ramp bleeding to death. And you like the camera just sits on the floor and just watches this whole thing unfold, and you just hear them screaming in pain and nothing's happening. You're like, oh my God, this is hard to watch because you're just hearing the room. Very unsettling, you know. Don't you point that fucking gun at my dad? And then they all go down.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh man. Yeah. Grimy. And apparently he's pulling the pin. He's got one more to go. He always said he'd do 10. Kill Bill counts as 1, and True Romance doesn't count, but he's got one more in him, and then I guess he's gone. Or maybe he'll do stage, maybe he'll do TV. I don't know. I kind of like to see him jump on board with Netflix and do a series, because I was always curious to see what Quentin Tarantino writes, like a 2 to 3 hour movie, or in Kill Bill's case, like a 4 to 5 hour movie. What could he do with like a 10 episode miniseries? Like give him 7 to 12 hours and see what he could do with that, because it's a totally different style of storytelling, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Well, because he said he's got 10 movies, doesn't mean now the field's open for a miniseries. If he wanted to do a Stephen King's got that stuff, like Storm of the Century. It's like a 4.5 hour thing. It was like it was a TV movie.
Yeah.
So you can do long form stuff, and Netflix has stuff like, The Haunting of Hill House, which is 8 episodes and then it's done. And then season 2, it's a completely fresh story arc. So I would really be interested to see if they could, when Tarantino's done with his 10th film, if somebody could talk him into doing like just a miniseries. I don't need to see 3 fucking seasons. I just want to see maybe a 5 episode story arc where he can tell like a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hour story.
No, I read about this thing and it fascinated me, with doing a Mr. Blonde and a Pulp Fiction Vincent Vega.
Because the Vega brothers. Yes.
Correct.
I heard about that too. Yeah. But he's talked about that, and because Mike Madsen and Vince called him Vincent Vega.
Vince Vega. Vincent Vega.
Who's that?
Motherfucking Vincent Vega right there.
Vincent Vega. And what's your name, darling? Me Wallace. And your beau? Vincent Vega. But they're not getting any younger. That's the problem. I think the story was a prequel.
Oh, I get it. So they might have to.
You would have to either cast younger people. You would have to cast different people in those roles, which would kind of suck.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily. We've talked about how good James McAvoy is before. It's possible. Mm-hmm. You can find a dude that could pull that. Yeah. You just get really good actors. You get James McAvoy and name another young actor who's absolutely fucking amazing. I don't know. Even like Daniel Radcliffe.
Maybe, yeah.
And then do a Vega Brothers, man. Let's do it. Fuck, it'd be cool as shit. I don't mind them casting somebody different. If it happens to be a prequel and they need to be in their late 20s, early 30s, just cast younger dudes.
Yeah.
The talent exists. That would be unreal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hopefully. The same with Kill Bill. They were talking about making a volume 3 and he was going to make it animated.
Yeah, exactly.
So volume 3 would be an anime of Kill Bill. And, oh, dude, I heard another one, which I think would be fucking awesome. You remember when there's in Kill Bill, there's the scene when the school bus comes back and then the two girls stop destroying the living room. They're trying to kill each other, the bride and Vivica A. Fox's character. I can't remember the name of her character. But then her daughter comes home. Yeah. And then kills mom in the kitchen. You know, she has the cereal box and boom, misses, knife to the chest, you're dead. And then she turns around and leaves the daughter staring at her dead mother in the kitchen. So what happens if the bride gives birth to Bill's baby and that baby comes back after that little girl 20 years later? You know, that'd be another one where you could come back and hire that, and you know what? And you could hire that actress because in that movie, she was only what, 9, 10? Yeah. Hire her back. She's 27 now, you know, and then cast somebody else to be a little bit younger, to be the bride's daughter, and Bill's daughter. And there's another Kill Bill something or other side story that could kind of turn into a blood fest as well.
Speaking of that, I wanted to speak on that before we got off of the Reservoir Dogs.
Yep.
Anyway, Tony Scott, I believe, the director.
Yeah.
It was split into 2 movies. Tarantino split the script into 2 movies, and one was Reservoir Dogs, and one was True Romance. And that's why I'm obsessed with the True Romance, because it was like the start, basically, of Reservoir Dogs, but totally different, but really, really good too. But he only got the chance to make one. So he chose to make Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, I see. So Quentin Tarantino, as a young writer, had these 2 scripts.
It was one, and he split it into 2. I swear to God, he split it into 2. And Val Kilmer wanted to be in the what do you call it? True Romance movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he wanted to be, but it wasn't. He didn't get it.
Yeah. Have you seen 4 Rooms?
I believe so, yeah. Is that the one with the Madonna?
It's got like, there's 4 stories. Tim Roth is the bellhop, and he's in every one of them. So you got 4 stories written and directed by 4 different directors. And Tim Roth is the constant with all 4 of them, and Quentin Tarantino's is classic Tarantino. So good. I think it's only like a 20-minute short film, but it's a fantastic little, I don't know what you'd call it, an anthology. What do you do when you stuff 4 together? I think it's called an anthology. But if you haven't seen 4 Rooms, I didn't even know it existed. One of our friends, Caitlin, she gave me the tip off on that one. She's like, you need to see that. You're such a Tarantino fan. I'm like, yeah, because Rodriguez directed a segment in that one too. And I can't remember who the other 2 people were, but it was definitely quality stuff. Let me IMDb 4 Rooms, see who the directors were. 1995 is when it came out.
Yeah, I believe I've seen that, yeah.
So there's... Allison Anders, Alexander Rockwell, Robert Rodriguez, and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun if you've never seen 4 Rooms. And being a Tarantino fan, I mean, I just watched his movies. I had no idea. Like, oh, no, he did this thing. And I'm like, that is really neat. That is really neat. And I think it's mostly a oneer. If I'm thinking back to it, I'm pretty sure his segment in 4 Rooms is just one continuous shot for like 15 minutes, and it's the whole thing. I think. I definitely have to watch it again. It's been a really long time since I've seen that. But what else you got on your Tarantino list?
Because we were talking about Tarantino.
You had a whole sheet of paper, you son of a bitch. You showed me an entire full scap piece of paper with Tarantino notes.
That's all good, though. Aquinas Veritas.
What does that mean? Oh, yes.
My tattoos. Yes.
Speaking about his music, too, the cool thing about Hateful Eight was how he got to use the music of Ennio Morricone, who did like the old Westerns.
Yes.
And like, you know, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But also did The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing movie had an Ennio Morricone score.
Yeah.
And Tarantino like wanted that for the Hateful Eight because he's a huge fan of The Thing, I guess. And Ennio Morricone, who isn't?
Yes.
Fucking legend. But I believe I read somewhere that they had a little bit of a disagreement and they weren't really talking. But it finally convinced Ennio Morricone to help him out with the music. And he had a lot of stuff left over from The Thing that they used in the Hateful Eight or reworked for the Hateful Eight as well. And that's why the movie feels so cold, because that music in The Thing is just cold. Like the music feels cold.
Yeah.
And the Hateful Eight is fucking cold, man. And it comes down to the score. Like and the whole thing is scored, which most of his movies have like music and stuff.
Yeah.
But that one he actually used a score, which was really cool. And I love the tension twist in that one too. When you know shit's gonna hit the fan as a Tarantino fan, you're watching that movie and Buddy gets on the piano and I'm in the theater going, whoa, shit's gonna pop off. You know, like you as a Tarantino fan, I'm like, that's the twist. That's like that's the hook. Now everything's making a U-turn back and it's shit is gonna hit the fan. And that movie was fucking riot. And I loved how he used a 70 mil. He needed to use 70 mil film, but shot the whole thing in a fucking cabin.
Exactly.
but the mountain ranges, they look amazing because of that gigantic lens and that gigantic form of that film. And it, you know, makes big stuff just look so much better on a huge screen, but most of it's shot inside a cabin. You know, but I just think it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. As far as that goes, as far as horror movie type things go, or whatever, Eli Roth. Do you know him? Are you familiar with him?
one of Quentin Tarantino's right hand men.
Correct.
Played the bear Jew in Inglourious Basterds.
Bringing it over to that side.
Yep.
Eli Roth. What does he do? He goes over and makes Hostel.
Yeah.
Remember you brought that up before, me and you.
And Cabin Fever.
Correct.
Cabin Fever is a good one too.
He's My good. Goodness, man.
And hosts a show on AMC Plus called the History of Horror. It's his third season now. Really good show. If you want to watch a show about horror movies, watch Eli Roth put that show together, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just throwing it out there.
You definitely need to watch
movies. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I like them a lot.
I like how he works hand in hand with a couple of dudes. Like he's got Robert Rodriguez there, and he's got Eli Roth there, and they all kind of collaborate a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I think they'll send each other stuff. You know what I mean? They're good friends, probably.
Yeah, and then getting, Eli Roth looks really cool on camera too, so it's a little bit of acting experience for him. And Eli Roth was in Cabin Fever as well. He's been in his own movies, I think, mostly. I haven't seen Green Inferno. I haven't watched Green Inferno. It kind of looks too much like Cannibal Holocaust to me, but we were talking about Tarantino, I guess. But did you have any more notes on Tarantino? Because we can talk Tarantino forever. So we can always save the rest for another.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. So I think you want to cut it there then? We'll stick that about half an hour for a Tarantino episode. And we'll definitely have lots more to say.
Okay or not, I don't know.
It's all good. I think we save the rest of the Tarantino stuff for another Tarantino video because this could definitely go on for a long time. So if you are watching, thank you for watching. Lloyd is going to have a cigarette. I saw a cigarette.
I just tried to stop talking so you do a segment because I kept interrupting you. So I didn't want to have to.
Cut. I don't cut nothing. Nothing. We're so good, we don't need to cut nothing.
Whatever.
But thanks for watching Down in a Hole. Unfortunately, Jono could not be here for this episode, but he will
get better, buddy.
Yeah. Subscribing, sharing, liking stuff, commenting, or just deleting your account and blaming it on us. We would be honored.
I would really like your bad comments. I like those. Those are fun.
Hate mail. We love it. Big fans. Tonight's music is brought to you in part by
Snot.
Jonathan. We can't play Snot, but we can play Jonathan. And here it is right now. But yeah, thanks for watching Down in a Hole.